Hello everyone and welcome to another game of Napoleon Total War. Von Kaiser here, and today I am playing as the Netherlands, as you can see. We're playing on the Amazon Basin map, so it's kind of tricky with all its waterways and whatnot. My opponent is playing as the Austrians, and he's all the way over there. Alright, if I bring up the mini-map here, I'm going to enlarge it here for a second. I'm the little blue dots, you could say, and my opponent is red. Alright, so for this battle, I already knew I was heavily outnumbered, because if you look here, my opponent did, which was kind of different. He spawned a bunch of militia units that were heavily upgraded, so he definitely has a numbers advantage, which will definitely help him out in the long run. And also, he's playing as an actual, I don't know, I want to call it an actual country, because of the United Netherlands. It is actually an actual country, but they don't have many. Their unit selection's pretty poor, so I'll have to deal with that. Anyway, so my army has 5 units. Well, it's all clustered here and around here, but my army consists of 5 units of skirmishers and then I think 7 units of line infantry. I have 4 cavalry units. I have 1 7-pound howitzer, and I have 1 horse-drawn 6-pound artillery, which I'm putting up on this hill right here. And finally, I have 1 grenadier unit, which is right here. Alright, for my opponent's army, they're pretty diverse. He didn't bring any artillery. He has about 5 units of these cuirassiers, which are a cavalry unit. Yeah, like I said, he brought a lot of militia units that are heavily upgraded with some regular line infantry. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The battle starts off with my guys shooting at this random ass cavalry unit, just shooting on the ground. Minimize the map. Oh, minimize the map here for a second. He charges into my skirmisher unit, which I was a little disappointed in that. I honestly thought they'd rout beforehand. So I'm dealing with this cavalry unit over here. Not a major deal. My guys are fighting him off. Alrighty, I have this. You can see my howitzers firing off into the enemy. I did detach a group of skirmishers and line infantry to defend this pass right here. I think my guys are deploying spikes down. Yeah. Or at least they should be. I don't know if they actually never did. That makes a lot of sense. In the game I thought they did, but they must have never have, huh? You can see his cavalry charging across here. Probably gonna... Jesus Christ, they're just getting demolished. Somehow they make it across the river. Alright, well, making a major push over here.
Our men are running.
Oh, some men are running. Oh, my skirmishers are running over here. Yeah, the United Provinces, they do not have a very high morale whatsoever. I learned that the hard way in this battle. But there my guys are running away. Jesus Christ. Artillery is like fucking shooting at my own guys. Sorry for swearing. My bad. So I sent my cavalry in for a countercharge, and that basically will mop up any resistance over here. Now the main battle is turning over to this side. He did charge a cavalry unit into my guys over here, but I got him into a square, so they'll be taken care of quite quickly. My opponent managed to get up on top of this hill before I did, which has caused me some problems. I'll open up the mini-map, and you can see, I think his general thinking is because I had the only artillery pieces that he's getting close. Like, he's getting close to my guys, so if I was to shoot him with artillery, he'd just shoot my guys too. More of my guys are running. I had a real... Oh yeah, these guys right here. Oh, they couldn't finish off the cavalry, so I had to send in a counter charge. I had a real problem with morale this game. The Dutch do not have very good morale whatsoever. But I managed to rout that cavalry unit of theirs. I'm not doing so good on my far left flank. I threw my guys in the woods over here so they wouldn't get shot at. Well, they had some cover, I should say. They're still getting shot at, but you can see that my Austrian opponent got really in close, which was a pretty good idea on his part, because now my artillery is just shooting into myself.
Our men are running, sir.
More of my skirmishers are retreating. You can tell this is just point blank firing. Had a lot of balls to be in freaking 18th century warfare. You're just lined up in a line shooting at each other. Alright, more of my artillery coming in. Alright, you can see over here I managed to stop his assault. So I was able to hold that off. I have my grenadiers back here, which are going to be going in shortly. I have one unit of cavalry in reserve, and I have my artillery pieces up here. Now you can see all along the line my opponent's just closing the gap between our units.
Our men are running.
Mostly because he doesn't have a artillery unit, so he wants to take my artillery and he's going to take his units and get as close as he can, so I'm shooting at my own guys, which I didn't realize it at the time of the battle, but you can see that happening right here. Like, those artillery shells just landed like on my guys. You can see right here. Not really a good thing. But it gets hard to micromanage at this point. Things get this chaotic. You can see that he's basically folded up my left flank. He's able to stretch out my line because he has so many more guys, even though they're not as high quality. Than like his militia aren't as high quality, but they're still able to pack a punch, especially when they're heavily upgraded. Alright, you can see him going in for the charge right here. Yeah, so at this point, my artillery's still firing, but to say the least, I did not have high hopes for this battle at this point. I'm just trying to hold on. He's slowly collapsing my left flank over here. I'm trying to hold on. I'll open up the map again so you can get a better strategic view of this. I'm shoved in this little, I'm blue if you remember, I'm shoved in this little pocket, and he's basically surrounded me, which is not good at all. So while my units are trying to hold off the inevitable over here, he tries to make another run into this corridor, and I bring over this cavalry right here to charge into his skirmishers. My artillery's still firing. I sent in my grenadiers for a countercharge. Grenadiers are usually good at hand-to-hand combat, so I was confident they could hold the line. There's my general trying to retreat. They get caught up in all this Austrian infantry. So here's my general trying to escape. It's not working out too good. And there he died, right there. My general is dead. Heroic death, von Kaiser. That's me. So at this point, the battle is basically lost. He overwhelms my entire position. I do have a few troops back here in my original spawn that came back from routing. He routed my artillery howitzer just from all my guys dying. They didn't even get shot at. No one in that unit died. They just ran away. So, fortunately, this is the end of the battle. It's true, I don't win them all. But, I wouldn't be giving you the truth if I only uploaded my wins. So, here's the last heroic cavalry charge. But all in all, for playing as the Netherlands, I thought I put up a pretty good fight. I mean, I had that morale issue the entire round. And my opponent definitely, I mean, he has legit, like, I don't want to call them legitimate troops, but like regular troops I should call them, like these Hungarian Fusiliers and these German ones, German line infantry. While he also has the ridiculous numbers of his militia, so it was a pretty good strategy. I'm not gonna lie, pretty interesting army makeup. But you can see my opponent coming across just to slaughter what's left. This is basically the end of the battle. Unfortunately, I didn't get to save the results of the battle, but basically he deployed about 500 more guys than I did. And you can just see the slain bodies all across the battlefield here. Mass amount of death. And you can't even see it under the trees and stuff like over here. There's just corpses everywhere. So, alright guys, that was his battle. I did lose. Kind of sucks, but like I said, I wouldn't be fair to you guys if I only uploaded my wins. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, and talk to you next time.